Welcome to the Verdin Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. Got my guy G Sports in here for this Friday before the college football playoff. G, first round. How you feeling? How's things going for you?
I'm excited about these playoff games this weekend, man. We got some good matchups.
Yup.
I think that other than the Ole Miss and Tulane games, I think these games should be competitive. Even the Oregon and James Madison game, I think these gonna be some competitive games.
Glad you brought that up because our guy Nick Saban, he was hating on him. Hating on
On
James
James
Madison.
Madison,
Yes, I'll get to that in a minute. We'll do our LSU portal wish list, talk about a couple of positions, maybe a couple of players, even though it's a little too early. The big heavy hitters that are going to enter the portal are still playing ball. G, they got some games on the itinerary this weekend. But let's talk about the obvious. The first one, quarterback. I'm going to start this segment off saying Sam Levitt. And I don't want to say he's not as bad as I thought he was, but a lot of people were saying his name in the LSU quarterback search. And I was like, bro, ain't no way. I looked at some of his film. Bro, he's actually really good. He's shockingly good. Mobile, has a nice arm, athletic. I still would prefer DJ Lagway because we always talk about experience and he's gotten his time in the SEC and it just seems like that transition would be seamless. But I wanted to give Sam Levitt a little bit of flowers, if you will. Who are you eyeing? Who's your favorite out of all the options? I mean, you got Sorsby, Rayola, got a lot of names in this portal class in that position group.
I know people that watch our podcast gonna say, "Man, DJ Lagway must have G Sports on the payroll." So
Yeah,
that'll be my first pick in the portal when you talk about quarterback. I'm going to DJ Lagway. If I can't get him, my second pick would definitely be Dylan Rayola from Nebraska. He's really, really good. I think some of the things that I saw him doing at Nebraska was very impressive. I thought they didn't have a lot of weapons around him
Yeah.
that kind of hurt Nebraska in the long run when you talk about having consistency on their offense with
Mm-hmm.
their offense. Um, Sam Levitt would be my third choice. I think he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. If he ended up coming to LSU, I wouldn't look at it like it's a failure or man they could have did way better than this. I do think he's definitely in the same stratosphere as Rayola and Lagway. But that would be my order: Lagway, Rayola, and then Sam Levitt.
How do you decipher the tape and see, like, all right, this out of conference player could play in a conference like the SEC, the Big Ten, whatever the case may be? Because when we're looking at guys like Rayola, Levitt, Sorsby, whatever the case may be, you're going to have to put that eye test on them. Like, what are you looking for? Okay, is he able to get out of the pocket and escape some pressure? Is he able to extend the play? Can he make a nice anticipated throw, like we say? I mean, what is exactly the kicker, though, that you think, all right, he's ready for big boy ball? Because there's a step up, bro. It'll be a huge step up.
I think in today's world of the quarterback, what conference you coming from doesn't necessarily matter all the time. You look at Trinidad Chambers, came from a D2 school, right?
Cam
Most
Ward.
people, most people think most people thought when he was coming to Ole Miss and when he finally got the start that Ole Miss season was gonna go down the drain. Well, we saw how that turned out,
Yep.
right? When you talk about, I'm having a brain for it, Oklahoma quarterback,
Mateer from
Mateer,
Washington
John
State.
Mateer. A lot of people gave him a lot of flack coming into the SEC at Oklahoma and thought that he was gonna shit the bed. Well,
Right.
before the thumb injury, he was looking like a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yep.
So I don't look at what conference they're coming from. I'm looking at film and see how does it translate to my offense. And I think that's what Lane Kiffin is going to do. He's going to look at all three quarterbacks and he's going to see how does it translate. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When you talk about the type of offense they're coming from, when you talk about tempo and being able to identify things pre-snap, Riola would be the one that I would see Lane Kiffin going after first. I think the coming from what's the head coach name in
Matt
Nebraska?
Rule.
Matt Rule. Coming from Matt Rule's offense, not the same as Lane Kiffin's offense, but it's kind of similar. So I could see Lane Kiffin picking Rayola out of all three of those quarterbacks we just named. I really could see DJ Lagway being a third one he picks,
Interesting.
honestly. But that's my wish list. I would want DJ Lagway to be the first one that he
And
goes
I
after.
feel like they got to bring in two because you got Michael Van Buren still, yeah. I mean, you lose Jawan, who was your little hybrid. You lose Colin Hurley. Obviously, you're losing Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, bro, you're gonna have potentially Michael Van Buren and whoever you portal in. So you got to bring in two guys.
Yeah, but the second guy you bring in is not going to be a guy that's expected to start or
No,
expecting to compete for the job. It's going to be somebody that's young, right? Young and that's ready to develop under somebody. It's going to have to be a situation like that.
yeah, and I mean, look, hey, backup quarterback for Lane Kiffin. They've been able to throw out some heat, man. I can't lie, because I'll even pull this one out. And this is a weird comparison because you can just say, well, it's Alabama, it's Nick Saban, it's this, it's that. That year, though, when he left for FAUG and they were able to bench Jalen Hurts and throw Tua right in, that's another indication of Lane Kiffin, an offensive system, and him being able to coach and prepare a backup quarterback. Then, obviously, Chambliss under Austin Simmons. So, whoever the guy that comes in next, he's
And I'm
got
gonna
an
be honest
intricate
with you,
opportunity.
I could very well see Michael Van Buren thriving under Lane Kiffin. When you look at Michael Van Buren, yeah, he didn't make a good case for himself these last 3 games of the season. He did not. His audition tape was terrible.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't hold it against him. I wouldn't hold it against him. I think if Trinidad Chambers could come in and do what he did, I think him and Michael Van Buren's skill sets are a little similar. That's just my personal opinion. When you watch him, you give Michael Van Buren a whole spring, a whole summer, all the fall camp. Who knows how his upside could turn out to be.
Right.
So, I wouldn't just rule Michael Van Buren out of this. And I think Lane Kiffin probably watched the tape on Michael Van Buren and seen some things that he liked. And probably seen some things that look, I gotta probably tweak a couple things and get him to play at his highest level. So that's why I say I wouldn't go after two guys that's trying to start. I would go
Right.
after one guy and I would bring another guy in that's young, that's trying to develop.
Yep.
That's what I would do if I'm Lane Kiffin in LSU.
Because you automatically eliminate the pretentiousness in the room, like, oh, he's coming to take my job, or oh, I
Yeah.
got to compete with him. So now the roles are understood, right? When they walk into the door, and if something happens to change that, I mean, an act of God, an injury, whatever the case may be, you're not gonna be able to predict it. But
And to be honest
setting
with you,
straight early,
Michael Van Buren gonna have a head start on anybody that comes in because Lane Kiffin is in the building.
yep,
He's at practice. Now, from what I heard, he's not inserting himself, but I'm sure he's having conversations. I'm sure he's giving pointers here and there. I'm sure he's having conversations after practice is over and saying, "Look, this is what I saw today."
yep.
Right? So Michael Van Buren's gonna have an advantage.
And then I want to ask you this about the bowl game coming up, not this Saturday, but next, LSU versus Houston or Texas Bowl. It's like an annual appearance for us at this point. But it feels like they got an audition opportunity, like guys like PJ Woodland, Michael Van Buren, maybe a Harlem Berry. Who are you most excited to see Saturday? And who do you think has the biggest potential, I guess, to change or turn everybody's heads, if you will?
Man, I want to see CJ Jackson, the DN, the true freshman. I think he's out of Georgia. I like that kid. I think he has a ton of upside. I want to see Mathis get a lot of reps. I want to see Baker, the linebacker number 15. I want to see him get a lot of reps. I want to see Joel Rogers at safety. I want
Yeah,
to see Michael Turner. I
Mike.
want to see Aiden Andy, the true freshman out of Ruston High School. Those are the guys that I'm looking forward to watching in the Texas Bowl to see if they some type of the type of kids that could probably be on this roster going forward and help this LSU program. And
Yep.
that's what this bowl game is about, man. It's not about winning or losing. It's about seeing who can help them going forward for the foreseeable future.
A litmus test. I got two names I'm gonna add to that, and I feel like one of them is probably understood. You've seen flashes. I mean, I don't know who he caught it over. It might have been Tamarcus Cooley. We're talking about Manchild, Teron Francis. That's one of the names I think could get active on Saturday, especially with all the absences in the wide receiver room. You got guys opting out. You got guys portaling. One more name though, Philip Wright the third.
Yep.
Went to Destrehan, I believe. Bro, he
Mhm.
had flashes because the Jelani Watkins situation where he was at track and he wasn't in camp and all this good stuff. Philip was able to kind of jump a little bit and get some extra reps. And I'm not trying to say that he's going to have a breakaway game, but that's a name that we have not even heard of. And if guys like Manchild are getting an opportunity, hopefully he'll be able to get out there and get thrown into the mix a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about these playoff games. I see somebody making a hot take in the chat already. Miami over A&M in a first round upset. Book it. Wait, bro. Hold on. You're getting too ahead of the game, bro. We got to take care of business. This game, Bama, Oklahoma tonight, right? 7:00, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
This one will get me in trouble, G. You know why? Both of these teams have made me like a fool all season long. I've seen Bama get upset when I'm picking them. I've seen Oklahoma get upset when I'm picking them. I feel like I'm in a lose-lose right now. I feel like both head coaches are listening to the show actively, G, trying to see what side I'm on. I'm planting my stake, though, with Alabama. Here's why. Oklahoma, for a few weeks at least, have not really been considered a top SEC team. Everybody's been talking about Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, A&M, even Vandy. Like, I'm not trying to say anything about Oklahoma other than they're playing the number 2 SEC team, at least per rankings. Yeah, sure, Georgia dog walk Bama. And then, yeah, they had a rough stretch in the Iron Bowl. Bro, Georgia's my natty pick. I'm not even going to slight them for that one. The Iron Bowl is a rivalry game. Everybody remembers the kick six. Everybody knows it's going to be competitive. I'm not faulting them. They got an opportunity to be able to reload, if you will. And by that same token, OG, it is the most rest Mateer's had since the injury. So that's a scary side of it. But I'm going to pick Bama. And then this total's crazy. They're just straight up predicting a defensive game. 40-point total.
I gotta go against your brother. Bama has not been able to run the ball consistently all year, and you going
like
against
114.
a top tier defense like Oklahoma that's coached by Brent Venables. It's gonna be tougher on a night for them to score because you're gonna be predictable. You can't be one dimensional against these people, bro. They're gonna tee off on you. I just don't see Bama being able to escape this with a victory. I think Oklahoma gonna get enough from their offense. I think John Mattel plays well, and I think they win this game by 2 possessions, bro. I really think
Whoa.
they go ahead and win this game 27-13.
Yeah, I think Alabama's defense isn't really getting talked about enough. I mean, even on these statistics, when we're looking at points per game allowed, they're 12th. Yards per game allowed, they're 12th as well. In my eyes, like even in the discrepancy between pass yards, they're a top 23 offense passing. Oklahoma 63rd. Numbers are inflated, though, because Mateer was out and all this good stuff. It does put a lot of pressure on him. I think you could be in a shootout if you want to be safe. Not sorry. Probably pick the over, but I don't know. I like the Tide.
Man, I
I
just don't see Bama scoring like that if they can't run the ball, bro.
Yeah.
And it's already hard to run the ball against Oklahoma.
100%. I mean, look at both teams in terms of rushing and their rankings in the entire country. Both of them are right around 100th in the entire nation out of 140 teams. So it will be a stress point game. But we'll see how it goes. A&M Miami. Let me pop this one back up here.
It's going to be a good one right here.
Immortality. You know why this should be interesting?
Why?
Le'Veon Moss.
I don't understand why he's saying that's a shocker.
Yeah, it's pick 'em. Like, it's a 3-point spread. It is a close game in terms of
these two teams are evenly matched.
Look, I think you got a lot of interesting narratives that you could paint towards this game. You got the common opponent that they beat that probably got them into this entire playoff conversation in Notre Dame. Both got that one done. Le'Veon Moss, I know that was kind of up in the air on if he was going to play or not. I saw him at practice taking reps. Then, saw a picture of him. Buddy graduated. So congratulations on getting a diploma. Buddy took a picture with fans.
Struma High School.
Yo, shout out. He took a picture with fans, man. And they're saying he's good to go on Saturday. Per the man himself. We don't need the head coach. We don't need the injury report. Per the man himself, when he touched the diploma, he was feeling some type of way. I don't know if it's a smoke screen. I don't know what it is. The last point I'll make is that I feel like a lot of these A&M guys, they've been highly touted recruits. Everybody going in the number 1 recruiting class in 2021. You got to see it through. All these people are now on the edge trying to make their name and get into the NFL. This is their not final opportunity if they get a W. I think A&M gets it done, though. I like the price that you get the Aggies at because, like we said at the beginning of this, minus 150 for a team that a lot of people were considering SEC champions. I know they didn't even get to go to the dance, but a lot of people were on that Marcel Reed hype train. They went to LSU in Tiger Stadium, smushed them, absolutely smushed them right in front of our faces. I like A&M in this spot.
Man, this really a flip of a coin. I've been going back and forth with it, but I got to go with A&M because of the legs of Marcel Reed. I think the things he does off script. I think when the play breaks down, you can't simulate that in practice. And the receiving core he has around him with Craver, Beto Roman, Concepcion, like those dudes could play, bro. But Bussy, like them dudes are game breakers, bro. Any one of them guys could make a miraculous play, put their foot in the ground, and take it to the crib.
Yep.
And when you got those type of playmakers along with that running game, I just think it's gonna be tough for Miami to stop them consistently throughout the whole night. Even though I think Miami has a really good defense, but I think when you look at them from top to bottom, A&M versus Miami, I think A&M is slightly better than Miami top to bottom. We talk about D-line, O-line, linebackers, secondary, quarterback, running back, special teams. I just think A&M has a slight edge on them. So I'm going with A&M 28-24.
PPA&M's points per game, bro. Top 14 in the country. Because, I mean, the last few years, I would have considered them a defensive team. Now you're out here one of the best offenses, not even in the SEC, in the entire country. Shout out to them. This one, this will be an interesting one. Tulane, Ole Miss. I think they're at 3 o'clock. An interesting spot for them. We talked about this a little bit after Pete Golden got named head coach. The pressure's definitely on Ole Miss, but by that same token, you can use the logic that Ole Miss has a chip on their shoulder. Their back's against the ball, and they're trying to show everybody they're still a contender without Lane. So I really don't know how to feel. I think this honestly is the perfect matchup drawn for both teams, and it sounds wild for me to even say that, but Ole Miss got the victory by a landslide early in the year. Sure, it might not be the same team, but you got that confidence under your belt. Then in Tulane, you pulled. I mean, the only other team you could have faced that would be better is obviously JMU, but you got the team that is in the midst of chaos. They don't have their head coach. They don't have that consistency that people are talking about. Sure, Charlie's coming back down, but deep down, bro, he's repping that purple and gold. So it's just different. It's a different vibe in that building. I can't lie to you. I think the obvious pick here is Ole Miss wins the game. It's minus 1,000. I'm not about to sit here and give it to you. I can't lie. I'm going to give you something risky. Bump that spread up, coach. Plus 25, Tulane, minus 300. Put that shit on a parlay, dude. Come on. I'm trying to be for the people, G. I can take the easy way out and just say money line Ole Miss. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that for the people, man. I can't.
I don't think Tulane has a shot in hell to win this game.
No.
But if you wanna take a bet, take Tulane with the points in the first half, because I do think it's gonna be a close game early on.
Yep.
I really do. I think Tulane and John Summerall gonna come up with a good game plan, and they're gonna make things tough for Trinidad Chambers and that offense early on. And I think they make adjustments at halftime, and then I think they blow Tulane out in the second half. So if you want to take a bet, take Tulane with the points in the first half. But I got Ole Miss winning this game pretty handily, man. I think they win this game 31-17.
So the first half points is 10, plus 10. That ain't bad.
I'm telling you, I'm taking Tulane. I'm taking Tulane with the 10 points. First half. It's gonna
Final
be
one,
close.
man.
I wouldn't even be surprised if it's like if Tulane winning, or like it's tied or something. Or they like, I wouldn't be surprised in the first half, bro. I think John Summerall gonna come up with a great game plan for that first half, and I think Ole Miss gonna make them adjustments, and it's gonna be all she wrote after that.
All right, I like it. I can feel it. Final one of the round, bro. The one that Nick Saban was talking that shit about, dude. JMU and Oregon. Now I'm gonna add some context for people. Oregon's going to be without their top 3 wideouts. It is. I know that they're questionable. It's up in the air. Is DeCorian going to play? Is not. Regardless of what happens, they're going to be beat up, battled, bruised. Saban was saying this is like letting in the AAA champion into the MLB playoffs. Okay. Whoa. Gee, pause. Rewind. I like seeing the little guys get a shot. I mean, have we seen it pay off? No. Yeah. But there will be a day. There will be a day where it makes sense and we get the moment and we're going to be reacting to it and everybody's going to be freaking out. Somebody probably put $5 on the money line. Gee, people are going to be happy. You got to keep it going. You can't just put in, I don't want to throw a stray here, but all right, Notre Dame, it's time. You can't just throw Notre Dame in for the sympathy. Like, all right, well, they were on the fringe. No, bro, they had their chance. They blew it. They had a chance. These teams don't have a chance. The JMUs, they can go undefeated and get forgotten about. We all remember what happened with UCF. They're flying that honorary national champion flag. But regardless, my point is that Notre Dame can play a top contender, a Georgia, an Ole Miss, whoever you want to throw in the fire, and get blown out just as easily as a JMU. Why not give JMU a shot? I'm going to double down on that. I feel like they don't really have an opportunity. Now, will they lose this game by a lot? I could see it happening. But, I mean, they got to have the opportunity to be able to lose. Nick Saban, why are you hating, bro?
And what's the spread?
21.
21.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, of course we know Oregon gonna win this game. I watched James Madison a couple times this year. I think they're a good team. I think they could definitely make this competitive early on, just like I think Tulane will with Ole Miss.
Yep.
But I'm gonna go against the spread, bro. I think James Madison loses this game. I'm gonna go 34-20.
34-20. Okay. I got an interesting pick for the people, though. They might not like this one. G. But I found an opportunity. It's 3-way money line in the first quarter. Oregon's minus 270. Now, let me say, though, I got to put an asterisk next to it. If they tie in the first quarter, you do lose your bet, buddy. So, it's a 3-way money line. I'm just saying, though.
I really believe James Madison going to cover that 21-point spread, bro.
Look at them statistics. Let me pop them up back in for JMU, bro. JMU is 10th in points per game in the country, 10th in points allowed, 22nd in total yards, 5th in rush yards, 2nd in yards total allowed. That's a defense and offensive masterclass. Now, they are playing SBC teams.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
Like I said at the beginning, bro, this is their only shot. All they can do is beat the players and the teams that are put in front of them. They did it. They got it done. Here they are. Billy Napier next year's taking the reins. Man, this is setting Billy up for a potential playoff run, dude. Something about Billy. Come on. Let's go. All right. Before we get out of here, LSU basketball update. Let's talk about the hoops, both sides. Men's, women's. Let's keep it odds related. G, let's talk real quick about odds on winning the Natty, bro. I think it's about plus 900 for the women's team. They're 5th. The men's, plus 20,000, buddy. They're tied with like Dayton. I mean, I don't even want to keep going on and on. I think Butler, regardless, though. Men's team, they just beat unranked SMU by 12. They got 3 more easy games this month. Southeastern, Prairie View, Southern Miss, SEC play starts for them January 3rd. Then the women's team, kind of the same. They got 2 more easy games. Conference play is going to open up January 1st. But, boy, the women's team going to run into a gauntlet. Absolute gauntlet. They're ranked number 5, but in this order, they're going to play number 12, Kentucky, number 13, Vandy, number 2, Texas, and number 8, Oklahoma. And South Carolina is coming to the PMAC-G. How are we feeling about the hoops? And I want to ask you this question, too. I'm going to, double it in. I'm going to use your expertise. Why do college basketball teams schedule like this? Like 1 month, just straight 50 balls, going 12-0.
Let me tell you something, man. I got to say, ever since McMahon has been the head coach at LSU, he plays this cupcake-ass 9-conference schedule and get these little easy-ass wins. Then when you get in the conference play, he get his head beat in, and he does this every year, and I just don't understand how you think this formula works. How do you think you're going to get your team prepared for war in the SEC by playing Lighthouse of the Blind every damn week and giving your team this false sense of confidence? You saw what happened when they played Texas Tech. I watched that game. They lost by 30, I think. Well, they was losing by 30 at one point.
They lost by 24, 82-58.
Yeah, they was down by like 32 at one point, bro. It was ridiculous. And at the end of the day, look, I think McMahon is a good coach. I think he's in over his head at LSU. Number one, I think he's going after guys that's not rough around the edges. And this is just what I've heard from people around the program at LSU with LSU basketball. He doesn't like to go after guys that's rough around the edges. He wants these squeaky clean cookie cutter kids that come in his program like we had fucking Vanderbilt or Stanford some damn well. And you're not gonna win in the SEC with guys like that. It's just not, you're not gonna do it. You need some guys that's rough around the edges. So look, when you bring them in your program, you get them to fit your culture, right? You need guys that got that dog in them, bro. And if you don't have them, it's gonna catch up with you when you get in SEC play. And so when they started the season off 8-0, 9-0, or whatever the hell it was, and people were talking about, man, LSU boys, they look like they can make a run this year. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Don't get me wrong. They got some good players on a couple good players on their team. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't see it. Now the girls, on the other hand, loaded, loaded. I think she can go 8, 9 deep, right? I think she has like a lot of size. She might have one of the biggest teams in the country.
Shout out K Koval, man.
Yeah, she got one of the biggest teams in the country, bro. And then I think Fuwali is allowed to play her game, which that was one of the things that when she was at South Carolina with Dawn Staley tried to make her fit in this box.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things why they butted heads a lot. So Kim Monk said, look, come over here. I'm gonna allow you to be you and play your game. And she's been able to do that. And it has enhanced LSU's girls basketball team. And the reason why I think it's working, number one, you got people like Michaela Williams and Flajay who's been there, who's veterans. They understand what Kim wants and how she wants it done. And for Wiley, for some strange reason, she is flocking to Flajay.
Yep.
She is flocking to her. And she's cool with her role, right? She knows she's not going to be the first or second or the third option, but she knows when she comes in or when she's with that second unit, oh, it's time for her to go to work. She can get her shots off. She can do the behind the back passes. She can do the step back threes. She has free reign to do what she does, and I think that has allowed her to thrive under Kim Mulkey. And I think it's going to help them as they get into SEC play and when they get to the NCAA tournament. But I do think watching LSU girls, they are definitely one of the favorites to win the national championship. I'm not going to sit there and say I see them winning it yet because I won't see how they're going to look in conference play.
Yep.
But I think nobody can argue that they're a top 5 team in the country when you look at them from a talent standpoint.
They recruited so well too because you're turning over a lot of, I'm not going to say production, but you're going to replace a lot of people, especially the names that LSU's replaced. I mean, and then they're bringing in people like Grace Knox, Bella Hines, Divine, Z. And then also, I want to bring this out too. With the way that the offense and everybody knowing their roles and playing efficiently, now you get things like this. They're number 1 in points per game, 107 points per game. That is the only women's college basketball team to average over 100 points per game. They're number 1 in field goal percentage at 55, number 1 in point differential, number 2 in rebounds. So they're utilizing the size. They're getting creative with it. Everybody can kind of bring their own expertise in a way to the scheme. When before, I'm not going to say it was more the same, but it just seemed like it wasn't working. You're trying to put people in situations that it wasn't benefiting them. Now you got so much depth that everybody's going to be able to play comfortable.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, and I said this after last season. They didn't have a true point guard last year.
No.
And Jada Reshaw was the person that I was looking to see to become that true point guard. But Kim Monk said she wasn't ready. Well, this year you see her having a bigger role on that team. And I think Jada Reshaw is the key because last year, at the end of games, who was making all the decisions? Michaela Williams. Well, that's your best scorer. You don't want your best scorer, the one getting you in your offense and the one setting the team up and being the playmaker because she exerting too much energy. Now Jada Reshaw can keep taking strides like she's been doing, keep taking steps and continue to get better and better. That's going to be pivotal, and that could be the reason why they hold that trophy up there.
I want to respond to Damon in the chat. He was saying Mulkey's doing the same thing with the scheduling. Like I kind of feel like I agree because like look, let me read you these games, and I'm not saying nothing. Like there's probably a system to it. Like their biggest win was Duke on the road, and they did smush them. So I mean, they won 93 to 7.
Duke not good this year though.
No, you're right, but that's just the biggest.
It was a good environment to go in.
Houston Christian, Southeastern, Georgia Southern, Charlotte, Tulane, Alcorn State, Marist, Washington State, Duke, UNO, LA Tech, Morgan State, UT Arlington, and Alabama State. That's going to be their run through. Just like what is it a conditioning thing? Is it trying to get the team's bearings together? A lot of teams do it.
The reason why I don't give Kim Monk flack about it, number one, she's a 3-time champion, right?
Yep.
3-time champion, right? She obviously has been down this road before and understands every team is different, every year is different. I think we're having so many new pieces from the portal, along with high school kids. I think she wanted to make sure they was gelling and having that chemistry before getting to conference play. I think McMahon, that's just what he's been doing since he's been at LSU. Like this has nothing to do with, in my opinion, and I could be wrong. I don't think he's doing that because of well, we got different guys from the portal. I got high school kids. I think he's doing it because he doesn't want to take the risk of going into conference play with only maybe 3 or 4 wins. Right?
Yeah.
He's trying to make sure he put himself in a situation where he can get 15 or more wins every season, I guess, to make sure his job is secure or to put himself in a situation to get another job if he gets fired. And I just think that's the wrong type of thinking, in my opinion. I'm not saying you gotta schedule a top 5 schedule in the country, but god damn it, man. I mean, you could put at least you could do better than that, bro. And this has been every year. Every year he's done this. And they get their head beat in when conference play come in. But Kim Mulkey is not the same. She might have a cupcake schedule right now, but watch when conference play come, right? She's still gonna be a top 3 team in the SEC.
I went back and looked at this too. I mean, look, you can use this for her in terms of advocating for her scheduling. When they had Haley and Angel and Flage, they had that big old team that they got into the portal. Their opener was in Vegas at the Hall of Fame series versus Colorado, ranked number 20. They were number 1, obviously, and they lost.
I remember that. Yep, I remember that.
So, like, that could have also played into it because that was a time where it was the opposite of right now, where it wasn't a lot of where it wasn't like all over the place roles. We don't know who's going to do what. Like, you were really just bringing in Haley, and she was, for the most part, going to play off ball. So it was like, it does make sense in a way. Somebody is in the chat talking about Will Wade and the scheduling there at LSU men's basketball. I feel like, though, like,
when Will Wade was there, Will Wade was scheduling them dudes.
Let's see.
He was gonna make sure his team was gonna be challenged.
Yeah, I'm not even going. I don't think Will Wade deserves. Like, there's no flack to be given, especially what you do at McNeese when you having them go to Michigan on the road, getting a dub there, going into the tournament. I mean, bro, LSU's not sniffing a tournament over here, but you got McNeese dancing and they winning. Like, McNeese dancing and winning.
Well, he at NC State now.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just giving him credit for that because the scheduling, I feel like, it makes more sense whenever you watch it pay off in the end. We're giving Matt scrutiny for this scheduling because there's no results, but I feel like, Will was able to actually produce some type of results. I'm trying to go deep into this scheduling for LSU basketball. Let's see, 2021. Oh, Lord, I done went back too far, bro. I went back to the damn COVID.
Well, Wade used to have a tough schedule, bro. In non-conference, he gonna play at least five to 6 teams that's gonna challenge his team.
They played Penn State before the month of November was up, and that's the debut month. So, I mean, look, they won too, by the way. They played Wake Forest. They played Ohio. They played Georgia Tech. All right. That was all before December.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Come on, man. Shout out. Damon in the chat. My guy. Pulling back some information for us. BK No Jones in the chat. American Patriot. Oh, I didn't see this. He dropped us a gym. Weather and Norman. 15 to 20 mile per hour wind. Talking about it being a low-scoring game. Defensive battle. Bama potentially having trouble in the weather. Come on, man. Gotta believe in a tide, bro. We're split right here, G. Got the Sooner Nation. Wait, Sooner Nation right here. Tide right here, man. I don't know. I might get murked. That's the game that might piss me off the most. And then Caleb DeBoer will be in your house, in the big house. Yeah, buddy. All right, we about to get out of here. Appreciate your time. Go hit that thumbs up. We getting out of here, man.